Before we start, or before we wrap up, I want to share some exciting news. Advocate with Dr. Rufus Lowe is now on Patreon. This podcast is all about giving voice to the issues that matter, and with your support, we can take it a little further. When you join, you'll get early access to new episodes, exclusive bonus content, and behind-the-scenes updates. You'll also be helping keep this show independent and growing. So you can join today for as little as $5 a month. And as a founding supporter, you'll get a personal shout out on the show. Just head to patreon.com, advocate with Dr. Rufus Lowe.
ICE raids taking place in the Bronx.
Chicagoans are bracing for ICE agents.
An immigration raid in Philadelphia.
The Trump administration is cracking down on sanctuary cities.
We're hitting every sanctuary city right now.
These cities have challenged federal immigration enforcement for years, and Trump sees them as an obstacle to his mass deportation plans.
We are getting them out and getting them out fast.
Our jurisdictions are not harboring criminals.
I think we never quite know what to expect might happen. There has been some enforcement on the ground here.
Here's how sanctuary cities work and whether Trump has the authority to end them entirely.
Come on in.
Denver Mayor Mike Johnston became a target of the Trump administration for his opposition to its mass deportation agenda.
Would you be willing to go to jail for these things?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that.
The mayor of Denver willing to go to jail in defense of sanctuary city policy. The list goes on.
If there are things that the government are doing that are unconstitutional or un-American that I think violate my values and our city's values, I think people would protest and I would join them.
Just hours after taking office, Trump signed an executive order that threatened to withhold federal funding to any sanctuary jurisdictions that seek to interfere with the lawful exercise of federal law enforcement operations. There's no one-size-fits-all definition of a sanctuary city. Roughly a dozen states and hundreds of cities and counties across the U.S. are designated sanctuary jurisdictions, with policies that limit their cooperation with federal immigration officials, according to the Center for Immigration Studies, a think tank that advocates for stronger border enforcement.
We can't have a safe city if folks are afraid to go to the hospital. We don't want to see what's happened in other cities previously where kids stop coming to school because they're afraid their parents will get picked up out front of the school pickup line.
Even if Trump wanted to put an end to sanctuary jurisdictions, like he said during a January interview on Fox,
we're trying to get rid of them, we're trying to end them, and a lot of the people in those communities don't want them.
The federal government's ability to interfere with state and local level policies is limited.
Already.
The Trump administration is preparing to take sanctuary cities to court again.
New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today.
We are preparing for potential increased ICE activity here. We've made sure people know their rights, know how to respond.
What unfolds in Denver could be a sign of things to come for the rest of America.
Enforcement on people that are here, working jobs, in school, taking care of their families, posing no public safety risk to us. That's what we've been worried about, and we're pleased that to date we haven't seen really massive disruptions like that, but we're still worried.
Welcome back to Advocate with Dr. Rufus Lowe. Today, we're taking on one of the most heated debates in American politics, that being of sanctuary cities. Some call them dangerous, others call them necessary, but here's the truth. Sanctuary cities are not a threat to America. In fact, they make our country stronger and safer and more just. That's my take. So let's start with the basics. Opponents say sanctuary cities defy federal law. Supporters say they protect immigrants from unfair targeting. But this debate is really about something bigger. Who gets to control our communities? Is it the local governments or the federal government? That's the question. So, number one, the Constitution is clear. The federal government cannot force local cities to do its bidding. The 10th Amendment protects that. Sanctuary policies aren't lawless. They're local leaders saying, well, we'll decide how to use our resources, not Washington, D.C. Number 2, President Trump and his federal overreach. And this matters even more when we remember President Trump's obsession with aggressive immigration enforcement. He didn't just want to enforce the law, he wanted to punish sanctuary cities. He threatened to strip their funding and even talked about sending federal agents into local neighborhoods. Think about that for a moment and consider a president deploying federal forces not to fight terrorism or defend the border, but to intimidate city governments and immigrant families. That's not leadership. That's overreach. Number 3, public safety and trust. Now critics love to say that sanctuary cities are safe havens for criminals, but the facts don't back that up. Study after study shows that immigrants, undocumented or documented, commit fewer crimes than native-born citizens. And here's the kicker. When people trust local police, they report crimes. They come forward as witnesses. They call for help when they themselves are victims. But when they fear deportation, they stay silent. So let me ask you, what keeps a city safer? A fearful community that won't call the police? Or a community that trusts law enforcement? The answer is obvious. Sanctuary policies, they tend to build trust. And Trump's raids and deportation sweeps, they tend to destroy it. Number 4, human dignity. And for some, people don't care about that, but if you do, please continue to listen. And let's not forget the human side. Immigrants they're our neighbors. They work, they pay taxes, they raise children, many of whom are U.S. citizens. Yet Trump's federal crackdowns turn families into statistics, children into bargaining chips, and human beings into political targets. Sanctuary cities, what they say is no. They say dignity does matter. They say families matter. They remind us that America has always been a nation of immigrants. Let's talk about number 5, the magnet myth. Opponents like to argue that sanctuary cities act as magnets, drawing in more undocumented immigrants. But let's be real, people don't risk their lives crossing deserts. They don't risk their lives crossing rivers or even because of a city council vote in Chicago or San Francisco. They come because they're fleeing poverty, they're fleeing violence and instability. Sanctuary policies don't attract them. They simply protect or prevent cities from wasting resources, tearing families apart. Number 6, the bigger moral question. So here's the bigger moral question we should be asking. Should the federal government be allowed to use fear and force to dictate local policy? Or should communities have the right to decide how to treat their neighbors? Because that's what they are. Their neighbors. Trump's answer was to militarize immigration enforcement, deploying federal agents like shock troops. Sanctuary cities are answered with compassion, or they use compassion, justice, and local democracy. And I'll tell you this, history will remember which side stood closer to America's true values. So in closing, sanctuary cities they're not a threat. They're a promise that local communities can resist federal overreach. A promise that safety comes from trust, not fear, and a promise that in America, dignity and justice belong to everyone, not just a select few. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe that sanctuary cities protect freedom or undermine it? Please Send me your thoughts. And if today's episode spoke to you, share it with a friend, post it on your social media, and let's get more people involved in this conversation. Finally, if you want to support, advocate with Dr. Rufus Lowe, and help keep this platform independent, join me on patreon.com. You'll get exclusive bonus content, early access to episodes, and the chance to shape future discussions. Together we can keep advocacy alive. So for now, this is Dr. Rufus Lowe reminding you, advocacy is action, and action starts with us.